Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English with Aziza. Today's episode focuses on sharing ideas clearly at work. How is it possible to share your ideas clearly at work? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a good idea at work, but when it was time to explain it, it did not come out the way you wanted? Maybe the idea sounded clear in your head. Maybe you knew exactly what you wanted to say. But when you started speaking, you got stuck. You went in circles. You added too many details. Or maybe you finished talking and thought something like, that did not actually sound as clear as I wanted. Well, if you have ever felt that way, I'm here to tell you you are not alone. A lot of professionals struggle with expressing ideas clearly at work, and many people assume the problem is actually English. They think something like, oh, my vocabulary is not good enough, my grammar is not strong enough. I think I need more business English. But honestly speaking, that is usually not the real problem. So, what is the real problem? The real problem is that many people try to communicate everything at once, meaning that they might have, let's say, 10 ideas in their head, maybe five concerns, three solutions, and they try actually to explain all of it in one answer. And the result? People basically become confused. Not because the idea is bad, but because the message is not clear. Think about the best communicators you have worked with. Think about them for a second. They don't always use the most advanced vocabulary. They don't always speak the longest, but people understand them. Why? Because they are very clear. They know exactly what point they are trying to make, and they focus on that point. One thing I have actually noticed in meetings is that many people start talking before they have organized their thoughts. Someone, for example, asks a question. They immediately start speaking. Then, halfway through the answer, they change direction. Then they add another point, then another. And by the end, even they are not sure what their main message was. This actually happens every day in workplaces around the world. So, how is it possible to speak clearly in meetings? And how is it possible to make everyone understand what you are saying? Well, basically, try to slow down before you speak. Seriously, this trick actually helps a lot. Something that helps is slowing down before you speak. Not for 5 minutes, not for 30 seconds. Even 3 seconds can actually help. Really, 3 seconds can actually help. So before you answer, ask yourself something like, what is my main point? Not my 5 points, because you need to focus on just one point. Okay, so you are not going to focus on 5 points, three solutions, maybe five concerns. No, no, no. Just one point at a time. Okay, so you need to focus on just one point and you need to ask yourself, what is actually my main point? Because once you are clear on that, your communication becomes much stronger. Another thing that can actually affect workplace communication is the fear of sounding simple. Many professionals believe they need complicated language to sound professional, but the opposite is often true. The clearer your message is, the more professional you sound. The goal is not actually to impress people with vocabulary. This is not the goal. So, what is the goal? The goal is to help people understand your ideas quickly. Because in meetings, presentations, and workplace discussions, clarity is valuable. People are busy, let's be clear. People are busy. They don't want complicated explanations. They simply want clear communication. And that is why clarity is valuable. And sometimes the reason we struggle to explain ideas is because we haven't fully understand them ourselves. And this actually happens a lot, really. Sometimes we are not even clear about what we are going to tell. So think about the last time someone asked a question and you found yourself talking maybe for 2 minutes without really answering the question. That often happens when we are still figuring out our thoughts. The clearer you are in your mind, the clearer you will be when you speak. So that is why it is really important to be clear, to have clear message. All right. Another challenge is overthinking. Many employees actually spend so much time worrying about grammar and vocabulary that they forget about the message itself. They focus on something like, am I using the correct tense? Is this the right word? Is my pronunciation perfect? And because all their attention is on language, the idea gets lost. And you need to remember something. People care about understanding your message than hearing perfect grammar. Something else actually helps is imagining you are explaining your idea to one person, not a room full of people. Because the moment we imagine a large audience, pressure increases. So we become nervous, we overcomplicate things. But when you imagine you are simply helping one colleague understand something, communication becomes more natural. Seriously, try that. I have actually tried this a lot and it really works. I just imagine myself speaking to one colleague instead of imagining a room that is full of colleagues. And it really works. So try that as well. All right. Because the truth is that great workplace communication is not about sounding smart, it is about making your ideas easy to understand. That is what managers appreciate. That is what colleagues appreciate. And that is what clients appreciate as well. And that is what helps people trust your communication. So, if you have ever felt frustrated because people did not understand your ideas, you need to remember this. Your goal is not to say everything. Your goal is to say the most important thing clearly. Because clear communication creates confidence. Clear communication creates influence, and clear communication helps your ideas have the impact they deserve. And yeah, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. If you have ever struggled to explain your ideas clearly at work, I hope this episode reminded you that communication is not about using difficult English. It is actually about helping people understand your message. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more episodes about business English, workplace communication, professional speaking, meeting, confidence, and English speaking skills. And also, if you know someone who always says something like, I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it, please share this episode with them. So, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep sharing your ideas. And one final thought, people don't remember the most complicated explanation, they remember the clearest one.